approaches and has a hit. Jack McGlynn! That is an absolute banger to draw this game level.
Sigh. Well, I'm keeping it. McGlynn's gone. We're keeping him in the video just to remind of what was when this Philadelphia Union season doesn't go very well. So, he's staying for now until I get over it. What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping in. We're back. We're so back. Crazy. I can't believe the offseason came and went. Can't believe that we have some shenanigans the first week to deal with. So, gonna be a lot of fun. Laird, what's up? Let's go. Kampersky, what's happening? Bulat, welcome back. Great to see some names that are coming back. I know it's a long off season, but Duncan, what's happening? Red or Dead, what's happening? Let's go. I appreciate you guys, everybody coming back. I know it's, I haven't streamed for forever, it seems like, since last season. We're going to do these Monday and Thursday, U.S. time, when the kid goes down, basically. Right now I have hockey practice on Mondays from 8 to 9, but we had a tournament, so no practice tonight. So, a little bit earlier, 8:48 my time. Ryan, what's happening? So, we're here. Basically, if you're new here, just questions, rapid fire. There's no real agenda. I'll go through all the games from this midweek. If you have weekend questions, I can answer to the best of my ability, but I'm still going through everybody. I had a really busy weekend, literally just I had 5 hockey games to coach and just didn't have a ton of time. And for the weekend, I think I'm through like maybe half. So I might not have some of your questions, but my sheet's updated. I'll have that up as well. So as we jump in, if you have any questions, just rapid fire. If you're new to the stream, I just bounce around. I have terrible ADHD. So like if something comes up in the comments, I like stop my train of thought and then we go from there. So right off the bat, this is tomorrow, right? Yeah. Right off the bat, the Inter Miami Sporting Kansas City match, obviously got pushed back a day and they're going to play. So I put out a weather report. Maybe I should pull it up just to take a look. So I did this. I am by all means, I have zero idea of anything weather related, but I put this together just based on, AccuWeather is around here. And I just kind of went through that on weather.com and take a look at it. So the Sporting Kansas City and Inter Miami match got moved. So the snow was the reason it got moved, not the cold. They're going to play through it. It's going to be just as cold on Wednesday. So based on that, I think the Colorado LAFC game goes as planned on Tuesday, just because there's an 8% chance of snow. Snow's not really the issue. It's going to be cold. I posted this a couple days ago, so things have changed a little bit. But this is a great time to be alive. Paul, what's happening? Yeah, it's a legit MLS. We're just off the rails. So MLS kickoff, they might say that, hey, we're starting at insert time here. US is always not on time. It starts like 20 minutes later. Let's go. MLS, Jesus. We'll see. We'll see how we think after the weekend. How many goals will Orlando beat Philly by this weekend? That's a great question, Duncan. We can go 3-1. 3-1. Kai corner with Baribo on the end of it. I don't know. I haven't even looked. I just think Philly will lose. Ducky, what's happened? I appreciate that. Sir, weather reports. Yeah, this is peak. This is absolute peak. Brutal. Narky, what's happening? Heard anything on Ryan Raposo, Super League? Yeah, I haven't seen anything since. He's not coming back to MLS as far as I know. I saw the Super League, but I haven't heard if that was official. I'm kind of like, if they're gone, they're gone. I haven't been paying attention much to guys that are leaving. Tershi, what's up? Sorry about your Sabi, or however you say it, news. Out 6 to 8 weeks with an ankle injury. I hate that as a guy that bought him. So that's a shame. Hope you're doing well. Below zero, and I'll be there. So Alex is the Sporting Kansas City guy, and so we're inside. He's the guy to ask us. He's going, so he's going to be there. We'll get all the inside scoops from him. Yeah, that's nuts. That I know, high ticket prices and everything going on there. Yikes. More power to you for being there, though. It's a true fan. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so those are the two matches with weather. Everything else is fine. The only issues is if you're new to MLS, these Champions Cup, like Philadelphia, they got fourth and didn't make it. So I was kind of happy. I'm not happy with how the team's shaking up as much. They'll be all right. But this is really tough. Then it, factors over to the weekend. So we're going to Costa Rica for Real Salt Lake. We are going to Antigua, that's in Guatemala, for Seattle. Long trips. And yeah, Montague in Honduras. That's where FC Cincinnati's heading. And Deportivo Saprissa in Costa Rica. That's where Vancouver's going. So long trips for some of these teams. Then they have weekend matches as well. Some are playing Sunday instead of, I think there's 2 matches on Sunday, kind of looking ahead. But yeah, and Alex is in the chat. ATG so rare. He's in the chat. If you have any Sporting Kansas City questions, we're going to direct that to him. He is the man, the myth, and the legend there. It's Hershey. I just seen that. Yeah. Jane Nelson. Yeah. I think he's going to step up. I'm interested to see how he does, just, coming back to MLS and, getting a chance. He was, with Toronto, and then left and then came back. So we'll see. Yeah. Daniel, what's happening? Good to see you in here. America is too big. Yeah. This travel is insane, but this could happen on a regular match as well. Yeah, I just started watching, was curious if it would open it. Yeah, I kept it in there. I'll probably look for a new clip, but for now he's staying just so I can remember what was. And whenever I'm a depressed Union fan this year, I can keep that little glimpse left over there. So this is what we have. I don't know a ton about some of these teams just from last season. Saprissa, I watched both of their matches against Philadelphia. They pushed Philadelphia to the edge, and Philadelphia was lucky to get out of there. They weren't that good last year as far as Philadelphia, but that's a Costa Rican team that's good. But, weather is like 60 degrees Fahrenheit plus for these evening matches there. There's no issues here. Our preseason was in Spain to cold weather to now. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Hey, let's go. Thanks for stopping in. Thailand, 9 a.m. Thailand. Let's go. Start the day. Some are finishing, some are starting. Some crazy people are in the middle of the night. I appreciate that. One of those games was during a hurricane. Yeah. Neil, what's happening? Miguel Berry, please just let's not do that. Let's not do that this year. Yeah, everything's going well here. So that's the schedule. Yeah, it's crazy. Ray, what's happening? The return, so hyped. Yeah. Selfishly speaking, I'm so pumped that we have this MLS hype. I'm not hype based on the prices because I haven't been able to get the guys I wanted to. So I'll show you who I have and the kind of, the crap that I'm putting together basically on the weekend. I don't want to FOMO into buying players, but at the same time, I have holes at midfield. I have so many forwards that are in season, but I have holes at midfield, and I really want to get to D1. I think I have to do it. Which is very, very disappointing. Ooh, 4 a.m. in Ukraine, Paul. Man, not as warm as Thailand. I'm sure of it. Yeah. So, server data. If you're not on server data and you don't have a Star membership, you should. First of all, I'm going to use it for sure in the stream. All the games, everything you need to know, everything, that we'll talk about here. So, what do I have? 2 tabs, the Game Week Center. Yeah. So we will go back to it. I'll go through some of the players as well, and just, do I think all the goalies start? Things like that. And as you have questions, hit them. So yeah, we'll talk about a little bit of everything. If you're unaware, if you go to my Twitter, my pinned tweet has this. This is free. No paywall behind this. Probably should, to be honest, the amount of time and effort I put into this, but This is free to everybody. So if you have any questions about, who joined, so a couple things, I still have this guy in here. He's not coming. It's just a rumor. I had it in there. Yellow is a rumor. I'm kind of at the point where we're not putting yellow in there as much, just because, windows are closing and not as many things going on. But just, for example, like Brooks Lennon, 2/7, that's February 7th. I know Europe flips the date, but I don't. So seems ahead of schedule, but there's no timeline. He's questionable. Ryan's in here. He's the Atlanta guy. So if you have any questions there. But again, like Atlanta, I haven't looked into too much, but, you're seeing some of these guys. As far as some of the teams I've covered, so let's go to Colorado, just because that's a team that I've done. I went through and put all the friendly data, just kind of what I could find. That's great for some teams. Like for this example, we have who started in each friendly. We go to Montreal, closed doors. We had 2 that we had some sort of coverage. It's just going to be a real crapshoot for some of these teams that just didn't give us anything. Like closed door and no lineups is just absolutely brutal, but we're dealing with that for some of the teams. So you'll see that some teams are updated, some teams aren't. But again, this is a pinned tweet. You check it out, and it's definitely worth just like kind of checking, especially as we go through the season. So what I do, if I scroll down, I have last year's too. So if you're curious, how did they score? I would go to Sorare Data over looking at my scores, because this is just me kind of looking at what was going on during the year. So you can see what happened all through the year, who started, green is start, yellow is sub, how many minutes they played. This just helps me personally, and I thought I'd share with everyone. So if you're new to my content, things like that, this is kind of like a must-have for me, but this is just more for me doing lineup predictions, and kind of I update it throughout the season. So yeah, Ray, FOMO's hitting hard. I haven't, like, for me, I have bought a couple goalies at kind of ridiculous prices. I'm not paying up for Stephen Fry. I'm not paying up for Brad Guzan. Like, these prices are absolutely insane, and they're getting higher. And I don't think they're going to slow down before we get there. So for the first game week, picked up McGlynn Rare. Yeah, he is going into a system that more fits his play style, possession. I think Herrera. I think it's going to be a similar type of thing. Different players, but similar things. Should be on some set pieces. As far as last season, you had like Bossy on a lot. I think Jack McGlynn's going to settle in really, really nice there. I didn't buy an in-season because I have 2 classics. But as an under 23 player, boy, he's going to be a good midfielder this year. 2 a.m. in Ireland, Red or Dead. Love it. How far away from playing is Ruiz? So this is a great question. He's been playing in the preseason. It's like if we go to RSL, this is just, again, this is huge for my process. But again, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. This is all free stuff. So if you look here, him getting back is great. He started some of these like formations I guessed at, which like made sense, but I did like Anelli is one. If Anelli is in, if Ojeda is in, and Ruiz are in, Anelli's going to slide to right back, which they've kind of toyed around with. But Ruiz has started 4 out of the 6 friendlies, and 1 was the same day. So you can just kind of throw that one out there. But the reason I don't have him starting right away is if you look here, they played the New York Red Bulls on February 12th, and Orange County, the second team played with Orange County. So it was basically a second team roster. The first team is kind of what I think is going to be the roster. Diego Luna is out. He's been ruled out. He is not making the trip. Philip Quinton is not making the trip either. He didn't appear in the preseason. McMath is out, 3 to 5 months. So, yeah, I think Ruiz is close to, getting in there. I think he, back-to-back season-ending injuries, they're going to treat him with bubble wrap, you would think, ease him in. I see him coming off the bench to have Ojeda and Anelli in the midfield. Another thing with Anelli, they love him. He is, I think, the matches he started, he was the captain for those. So, huge role in the team. He'll play it right back if the other 2 start. And, I really like Anelli's motor, and he does a lot of things. So he's going to be playing. I don't know if he'll be starting right out of the gate. I don't have him as a starter in the lineup for the midweek, but maybe on the weekend we see him. It just depends who plays. Yeah, Lodera and Holiday to Houston. Ladera had so many links to like Uruguay, things like that. And then, this came up today. So interesting. And Pawn Mark, what's happening? Do you think De La Vega, Jesus Ferreira to do well? I think that Sounders team is really, really solid from top to bottom. They're going to have some rotation, though, that is going to be a little bit tricky. I rate Paul Rothrock pretty high based on what he did last season. He does a lot. He backtracks well. He does a lot for them. He's going to play. Ariola's going to play. These guys, especially if they're in CONCACAF Champions Cup, you're going to see guys rotate. But, Schmetzer scares me this midweek, if I'm going to be completely honest, because last time I can remember, they made a trip down to Central America and they rotated everybody. It was a crazy lineup. Both center backs were rotated. So that's kind of why, if you're on Server Inside, I went a little bit lower in the percents. But on the season, De La Vega had a great preseason so far. And I think he can't be worse than last year. I think the talent's there. It's just kind of, can he be not horrendous? He scored in the preseason. So, okay. I put goals whenever I see them. If you look at his track record in the preseason, he did really well. Goal and assist, goal, and 2 goals. So 4 starts, not full 90 minutes for sure. He had 4 goals and an assist. That's a heck of a preseason. You're not playing the greatest of teams, but they played European sides. So that's something to watch. I think he'll do good. We talked about on the Server Data Show, Ferreira and how he can do. I would like to see a little bit before. I do have a Ferreira card, so I think he'll do well just because that attack is really, really strong. Rusnak coming back from a quad injury. They're cautious with him. So, you have to like this team. It's no surprise. That's why Stefan Fry's the highest priced goalkeeper. This team's going to be good. I think they are probably the front runners for the West. LAFC made some big moves. They're retooling. They did a lot of, in and out. But I think they'll be good. It'll just kind of be see how well. Okay, he's been running. So Brooks Lane has been running. No timeline. So still 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Tate Sealy's season is coming. No one's ready for that. But we did this experiment last year with Dallas. Montreal is going to do the same thing. Maybe. Do you think Kai Wagner stays in Philly with the limited windows? He does have a release clause that's really, 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 really low. So maybe summer. I just don't see him going to like Brazil now, like the windows that are open. I think he's fine until at least the summer. I'd like him to stay, but maybe these new cash deals, he might go from team to team in MLS. I'd rather have that just because obviously with cards and everything like that. When CPL predictions, that's hilarious. That's hysterical. Yeah, Canadian Premier League. I don't know anything about your Forge FCs or who's even playing. Yeah, Neil has a one mint number 1 of Freeze that he's trying to sell. So yeah, Rusnak's been dealing with a knock, right quad injury. So the actual quote from Schmetzer was he might play, but I just don't see him. I just don't see him really. There's no reason, they should be able to, with there being 2 legs, they should be able to take care of business at home, even if they get a draw on the road. I just don't think you'll see some changes for sure. Sorry, I'm taking a little bit of time to get through this. I appreciate so many people in here. This is awesome. MLS is so back. What do you think of Kim Jong-hong starting? Yeah, he's starting for DC. Danya is my DC expert. He's great for DC. He's also covering San Diego. He's the starter, in my opinion. In the preseason, he's been the starter. So, I don't think Barraza is going to be the starter out of the gate. But, if he slips up, he is young, but they're going to give him the reins. He was basically said that he was going to be number 1. Wistamania, what's happening? Been following you on Twitter since the Sorare Data Pod. Nice. Going for Cincy, Seattle, and Nashville collection this season to take advantage of the correlating home games. Yeah, Rev Sorare put together a really nice kind of what teams play together and the correlating values with that. So that's phenomenal. Those teams are going to be great. Nashville, everybody's on Nashville, which makes me pause a little bit just because it's MLS and weird things happen. But they should bounce back significantly. They do have some injuries to worry about. Just, people are taking knocks early. So yeah. John Andrews, what's happening? Let's go. We're back. I've actually heard Ojeda and Ellie might be the pairing, even if Ruiz is fit going forward because of team fit. Yeah. I would agree with that as well. But I think Ruiz, he does have the quality. He whips in some nice crosses, things like that, where he's going to play. It might just be in like a 30-minute role. But at the same time, like Ojeda and Nelly have motors. They can go the full 90, no issues whatsoever. And it's a shame that Ruiz was so good like 2 years ago. He was on all sets. He was just a great player, and just 2 major injuries are brutal. Hereford, what's happening? Any news on Hassani Dawson? No, he put in for a trade. He's been playing in the preseason. Did I update? Yeah, I updated this. He started 3 out of the 4 matches, but that requested trade, it just never happened. So no news, but based on, it's some weird things with Minnesota. They're toying with a number 6, 2 number 8s, and 2 strikers, playing both Yeboah and Oluwaseyi, which has worked in the preseason. They did play Sporting Kansas City's backups, basically, and slaughtered them 6-0. But, yeah, as far as him starting, I think he's going to be just behind some of the other guys. Right now I have it as Robin Lode and Pereira as the 2 8s, and then I do have Will Trapp just kind of being that veteran leader as the 6 between them. So that's pretty up in the air. I would love to hear Andy Greter, Greater, however it is. I signed up for his paywall. They give you a free trial for like months, which is kind of cool. Sorry, the name of it's slipping my mind, but I follow all his articles, and I'm just kind of basing off that. Jay Blaze, what's happening? Let's go. Yeah, you were the first comment, so podium for you, my friend. Another Seattle. Yeah, it's tough. So like the weekend should be a little bit easier based on who plays. That's just why I think they'll go all out on the weekend, rotate a little bit here. But yeah, Rusnak, Colonel Dickweed, what's happening? Yeah, sorry, I'm behind on the chat. It's just, I love it. I like to answer everything I get. Ray, someone just bought up McGlynn, man. I'm 6 minutes behind on the chat. Yikes. I'll speed it up a little bit. After I praise him, this is not financial advice. Please do not buy people that I am talking up. Or you can. Yeah. What's the Gressel situation? He's a backup. He's a guy off the bench. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Everyone just passed him up. He's a journeyman, and he's just kind of, he's a good guy off the bench. But yeah. When will Pooj be back? For sure. I don't know for sure, just based on ACLs and everything with it. His torn ACL, that's got to be a best case scenario 9 months, in my opinion. Just based on other people that move quickly side to side, things like that. That's going to be tough to come back. 9 months at the minimum. On RotoWire, I did player projections for every player. And I think I gave him probably like 180 minutes on the season, and that might be even high, just based on when he'll come back. What do you expect from Obed Vargas? He's sticking around. He had the Mexican League links just because some of these guys you can't pay in MLS just based on their positions. He's in an under 22 spot. He's a great player in the midfield. João Paulo had a nice preseason. He's still going to be a guy that comes off the bench, in my opinion. It should be Obed Vargas and Christian Roldan in that midfield. But yeah, Vargas is going to be a good player. As far as Sorare scores, let's bring Sorare data into play. Just, I like him as a player. Like, he's a really good player. As far as Sorare wise, let's just take a little look. I was going to say, I don't know how many dark greens he's going to have just based on how he plays. He's a good center defensive mid type. Yeah, 56 AA here was nice. He's playing in a really good team. So he might get an assist here or there. But yeah, the AA is there. Maybe his upside's a little bit more based on how many goals I think Seattle could score. But yeah, I think that's a good shout there for sure. Would love Dotson in Dallas. Yeah, that would be interesting. And yeah, Illuminati is still in negotiations. I saw that as well. That's insane. There was like someone posted, I'm not sure who, so I don't know if it's a good source or not. It was like 95% sure that Illuminati is gone, but it keeps going. Davidov, what's happening? Hereford, no problem. What's the chances of Obobase in LAFC? This midweek, it just kind of depends. So with them playing in Colorado against an MLS side, I think there's less chances of him playing because they're going to play probably their best possible lineup. And he's just not in that. Giroud scored in the preseason. What a shocker. But yeah, he's going to be a guy off the bench maybe for 30 minutes when Giroud doesn't score and he comes on for 30. Yeah, this is a good one here. Thomas says, I look at Velasco's very similar. Yeah, that's a good shout there. Velasco came back. He came back for a few matches towards the end of the year. Yeah, that's a good one. Are we showing any predicted? We'll see. Johnny Andrew, I like the Atencio. Yeah, that move. That is a shocker. So I'm struggling to see who is out. They could shuffle things around. Cole Bassett's locked, but he can play like left mid. He can play attacking mid. But they've been playing him in that 8 role. Connor Ronan's been playing in that 6 role. It seems like Ronan might be the guy that's out there. I think they're both going to play. They spent a lot of Garber bucks on him. So yeah, I think that's too much money to spend without having the idea that he's going to start. He is talented. He is a good player. But I think there's going to be some rotation with him and Connor Ronan. In your opinion, which team will be the dark horse? So mine, and you might have seen some of my buys. I'm high on New England this year as being a dark horse team. They had something like 13 signings in. They've completely revamped. My only hesitation is not a big fan of the coach, Caleb Porter. He's done it before, but that's the only kind of drawback. I think the team has surrounded some great attacking options around Carles Hill. The midfield might be all right as well with Youssef, and they've made a lot of good signings. So that's the team that I'm going after in auctions. I haven't bought my Hill yet. I'm going to, but it's just the price is just crazy. So that's a real shame that I can't get them yet. How's it going, ATX? Good to see you. If you need Cole Bassett, hey, there we go. Are lower now. I still see he's too talented not to start, in my opinion. My opinion could be wrong. I don't know what the coaches are thinking, but he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can play multiple positions. Tegu Di Pietro coming in is interesting. Will he be a set starter at the left side or through the middle where they move Mihalovic to a wing? They have a lot of different options here, but out of the gate, I don't think Atencio is going to come in and start the first match personally. Let's see. Making a glossary, club-specific resource, nice. If anyone needs them, pin in the channel. Yeah, so that's a good resource. There's some good stuff, and the Sorare actual Discord on the MLS. Good people in there too. I think Kamaka had a torn ACL, came back. Yeah, Atalanta doctors. Yeah, some I know this isn't like an American football, but Adrian Peterson was like the case that was crazy in NFL. He came back the quickest I've ever seen ever, but it's really shocking. Just instant bot. This is not financial advice, but yeah, he's just really talented, like in person. I love to see. Yeah. I do the RotoWire lineups. That was, I don't know what I did wrong there. Steve Clark is not in the lineup. That's going to be terrible. Starting, that's on me. I don't know why RotoWire lineups are free. I try to get them, like, as soon as I make a change on the other side, I try to go over there. That was just a typo. He should have never been in there. Steve Clark, we haven't seen. So, oh, you got a free Rafael Santos. Orlando, good matchup week 1. That's a defender that, he's going to get you some decisives there. Any preseason reports of Zuni at Austin? He just arrived yesterday. I believe that was yesterday or Friday. I'm losing track of days, but he is there. I don't think he'll start in the opener just because he just got there, most likely. But he should be relatively fit. He just took a while to get over here. Bernardeschi's sticking around. Yeah, Bernardeschi's one in Toronto that I'm not really worried about him leaving. Insigne, they just threw to the curb. So, yeah. This is another one. Crazy. Transplant a muscle from another part of your body and your knee. That is insane. Jay Vic, what's happening? You just unloaded him. So, yeah, that's absolutely insane. That is crazy. He's a baller. Nice pull. Anyone you're big on under 23 MLS? Yeah, McGlynn would be a good one. To be honest, I haven't looked a ton into MLS, but yeah. Holy, I am so behind on the chat. Or no, I'm not. Okay, it just said that at 120 messages, but it just reloaded all the other ones. So, okay, I think I'm almost caught up. Yeah, at these current prices, I don't think it's bad to any player that you get that you might not use, or you want to make some profits off. It's not the worst idea to sell. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm not very smart. I like playing this game, and this is more fun. This is not financial advice. The people that I buy are probably not at great prices. I like to play this game. I just love MLS. I sold the rest of my gallery, so I just have money sitting there. I just want to play. Do you think Busquets will play, Michael? I think they'll play. I think they'll play the old guys most likely, but with that bitter cold, it's just terrifying for these knees, and just it's going to be tough for those guys to play. That's for sure. Yeah, Orlando's D is legit. I think Rafael Santos is one of the key defenders. If you look at defenders, there's just not a lot of crazy, high-scoring defenders outside of your Kai Wagner's, your Amador, who might not play at the gate, coming back from injury. Some of the prices on these defenders are just insane. Like I was watching Miles Robinson was going. Gregerson's a guy that I was looking at, just to have a center back for Atlanta that's solid. I think Gregerson could have a big year. It's just in a great Atlanta side. So, yeah, Daniel, definitely prices are inflated. So never going to go broke taking profits, which I don't know anything about. So it would be a mess stroke if I end up playing. Yeah. Steve Clark, Steve Clark played well. Like, I just can't believe that's another guy that you can't believe that he couldn't find a spot, because he could start on 10 teams, no doubt, in MLS. Yeah, Red or Dead. Yeah, that's why he just didn't join the team. It might have been a visa issue. You never know with these visas, but I saw him, like, if you look on his Instagram or maybe his Twitter feed, I think it was his Instagram, he was still not in the US, but he took a picture of the Austin skyline, the plane. So yeah, he's here now. Lewis, what's happening? Yeah, refreshed. I hope you're ready for your tail end stretch here in the EPL and championship. So yeah. David, what's happening? 3 best defensive player for the year. Wagner, Amador, and whoever has the best home matchup would be kind of my thinking there. There's so many good options as far as if they're in. I wouldn't say good options. There's so many home specific options that are going to be good this year, but it's a little tough to decide who that third one. I think Rafael Santos is a good shout out too. If Andrew Thomas starts, I might flip a table. Yeah, with I'm 70% on Fry, and 30% on Andrew Thomas, just based on could they maybe give him a shot. But with this being so early, I think they want to get guys into form as well. It's just with the weather, with Concacaf Champions Cup, just kind of if you're new, because there's a lot of people that are new to MLS. If you're playing this midweek, last year, Nashville, my lineup prediction for Nashville, they rotated the entire squad. I got 3 out of 11 correct. So there is kind of nothing you can do if they decide to not take everyone. So while the first leg, most teams will try to win, that second leg, let's say that, for example, like New England last year was in the competition. I think they won 4-0 the first leg. Second leg, good luck because it's going to be brutal. Yeah, Garces is another one. I don't think his price is warranted, though. I don't think LA Galaxy will be nearly as good as they were last year. It's just MLS, man. They just pop up, they go down. Yeah. Danny Pereira, yeah, he's a good option for Austin. The midfield's a little jumbled. I do have him as a starter, but there are more options. Vasard Sebovic from Djurgårdens. They've used him in the preseason a little bit. A lot of kind of positive things coming from some of the podcasts I listen to on Austin. Dubrsarski is a young 20-year-old. Owen Wolf's still there. I think, coming into the season, I thought he'd have a bigger role, but I don't think anymore. Illy coming over as a defensive option in the midfield. They just have a lot of options, so that we might see a little bit of rotation. Pereira with set pieces, we might see Ozuni taking those away from him, which could be a little bit tricky. And Tsikaris for San Jose, I don't think he's going to break out this season. There's just a lot of mouths to feed. He's kind of a little bit lower on the depth chart based on some of the things that are going on. If Hernan Lopez left, which it doesn't seem like he is now, at least for today, he could play a little bit more, but they'll probably go to the 2-striker look a decent amount of time with Joseph Martinez as well here. So there's just a lot of uncertainty there. Sir Down Under, boy, Zanka, with the preseason info that we have right now, they're going 4 in the back a lot, and Zanka's the odd man out. I don't know if that's going to continue. If it was me, I would play 3 in the back, but it's obviously not me. Some other Galaxy kind of things. Julian Aude, the left back that lost his spot after he got hurt to John Nelson. He's been playing a little bit of left wing. That's something to watch. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. Joseph Painsel's out for a while. This roster just doesn't scream a lot of love for me. They have good pieces, but Paintsel and Puig being gone, they've moved on from Jovic. There's a lot of different things going on. I do really like he doesn't have cards yet that I've seen. From the kind of clips that I've seen and just a little bit of, looking at SofaScore, looking at some of these heat maps, things like that. Lucas Sanabria, however you say it, is a baller. I really like him. That was a guy that if he would have got cards, he was just kind of late to the signing. Actually, I didn't even update his contract, so I got to look up that after the stream. Yeah, for sure. New Austin coach sucks, but I'm biased. Yeah, yeah, for you. Yeah. Primary backup. Hope I'm wrong though. Yeah. I Steve Clark moves to someone even as a number 2. I definitely don't own a truckload of his cards. Yeah. 3 rare classic teams to go. Got a Bouanga. That's another guy that I was planning on buying, but I like the prices. Just, I had great plans to buy all these great players with the money that I had. And I budgeted. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be able to get this guy. And then it's just like, maybe not. Yeah. Then better question, I can use Busquets, Kubo, or Christian Roldan. Midweek's going to be tough. So Kubo has a lot hanging on his, just with a lot going on. Cincinnati's tough, like Evander. I just don't think Evander's going to make the trip and start. So that would make Kubo start, in my opinion. Kubo can play a little bit of wing back if he's needed. He just can play so many different positions that I do have him starting. Christian Roldan, unless they rotate, should start as well. I do think Christian Roldan will start. Busquets, it's just that cold weather. Cold weather's scary. And like the wind chill is going to be brutal. It's just, I don't have a good question. Yeah, Jordi Alba is another option. If you didn't know, Jordi Alba is suspended for this midweek match because of he got 2 yellows in quick succession in the last Concacaf Champions Cup competition. So everything that I've seen, they do carry over. I looked at the rules. They do carry over. So him receiving that red card, he should be suspended for this upcoming. I wouldn't be surprised to see that rat tail flow on some pitch. Man, that's just what everyone wants. So, yeah, that's what we got. Yeah. So this is, without giving too much away, I don't think he got much of a chance last year. I was high on his upside. He just, with Cushing, he just didn't play. With Santi leaving, Hannes Wolf, it depends where he plays. He's been playing a little bit of number 10 role, which kind of begs the question. You do have a Maxi Morales that is 38 years old. How many matches is he really going to start? He kind of started every other match down the stretch last year, but that was with Santi Rodriguez. If Wolf plays through centrally, I think Julian Fernandez could have a lot more starts than 8. That's for sure. And yeah, I like him as his upside. I'm not sure if you can count on him as a everyday starter, but looking at his classic price, he was really hyped coming into the season last year, and he just didn't do anything. He's still 21, still worth a lot, but yeah, I like him personally. But yeah, Bouanga hate watch. So many missed chances. I sold him. Yeah, he's one of the best forwards. It's just him staying is big. Alba just doesn't justify his price, whatever it is. Crazy. Yeah. But if you look at Kai Wagner, these guys, they're the best options. So people are paying up for the best options. J Vic, I just answered that question. Mikovic, man, there's a lot of, so my, thinking, let's go back to the Galaxy. This contract situation is big for me. John McCarthy, there's teams that he could start on. It hasn't happened yet, but I was thinking that he might get traded in the offseason. Obviously, it hasn't happened. And then Mikovic would take over. Mikovic, if you look back to last year, he was not happy. He thought he should start. I think he's very talented. He came from Kukariki. Is that what it was? Probably botched that for sure. But if you think back to the line of keepers that they've produced, it's a who's list. So Petrovic from the Revs, he was there. I'm trying to think of other goalies over there, but he's at 23 years old. He is definitely an MLS level keeper, in my opinion. If you think back 2 years to the Leagues Cup, he was good. He was good in the Leagues Cup with an injured team for the Galaxy. Who did they even have in net? Jonathan Bond. I'm trying to think of the names that were even the keepers then, but he's been around. I like him. I just don't know if he's going to start. That's kind of brutal. There's some links that he's going to start over McCarthy too, but I just haven't seen anything that I don't know. Is it Sullivan Brothers season? That's a good question. Quinn, yes, Quinn's a good shout for under 23. He really came alive. But Cavan, he's not going to start over Gazdag in his natural position. He's going to play off the bench more. It's just you're not going to fire him up in your lineups. What teams you liking most defensively at home? Just most teams play better at home. Home advantage is huge in MLS. It just kind of depends. Every team has players that can score well at home, but there's not a lot of elite defensive players. What I kind of talked about before is just, the best guys are going to be expensive because they're the best guys. They're the best options. Like your Kais, your Albas, they're going to play well on the road as well. So tough. Yeah. Jack, what's happening? Just a quick one. It's not really a quick one for the most probable starting 11 for Dallas. I'm still working through a lot of these teams. To be honest, I haven't gotten to Dallas yet. So I'm trying to focus more on the midweek on this one. I'll be back Thursday with all your questions. Well, probably not all your questions answered, but at least my best stab at them. Portland going back 3, Ducky. Could see the backline score better if true. Yeah. Preseason necessity. We can't. I was talking to Harry and, Gator Guy and Laird earlier. It's just in a group. And boy, Phil Neville, you can't trust anything he says. Because last year with Evander, it was just brutal. But he said out of necessity, they're playing 3 at the back. They have injuries going on. So I don't expect that all season. If you see the orange, they just have injuries. So there's a lot of things going on there. As far as injuries. So I don't think it lasts all season, but whenever they play 3 in the back, just based on scoring, you can have some nice options there. Yeah, at the last Coachella game, Wolf played the 10. Jay Blaze is a New York City FC fan. And Bakrar is at the Ring. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. They're playing them both a lot. Goon, what's happening? Is this close to your 11? Pies more. It's close. Yeah, that's close. For the first game week. I don't know how to say his name, but it's an awesome name. Your Hoghide. That's just a great name. But however you say it, he's going to be a set starter in that back line. I think he's going to help out that defensive line tremendously. I full disclosure, I own one of his cards, but I think he's going to be good. New York City going to be terrible. Yeah. I'm usually wrong, so support shielding coming. That's hilarious. Yeah. Skate Perez too. I hope he can push up as well. If they can have anyone distribute the ball out to those guys, they spent a ton. Jaden Nelson, he's talented. Yeah, he's a good shout. Looks like 3 at the back this season. Coach talked about a preseason and predicted lineups match. There's a chance, but what was weird is they're playing Atencio at center back a ton in the preseason, trying to put him there, and then they trade him. So I was also looking at that. That's why it's so hard for this midweek with Seattle, what they're actually going to do. They have Kim Ki-hee. There's a lot of question marks there. Hawkins play a little bit. They can do a lot of things. Tolo could play like a left center back position for sure. And then Roldan could push up. It's possible. And then you play, more of these attacking options with that. But it's just going to be tough. Schmetzer can tinker a little bit. Like he was 4-2-3-1 all season last year. And then he'd just go off on a tangent and play a couple where, it's just surprising. So, who do you think could have the best rating of all Minnesota defenders? That's a good one. As far as Nicholas Romero, him coming in from Atletico Tucumán, I like him a lot. I've been in on auctions and haven't got him, how he's going to transition. They got him a long-term deal. Michael Boxall is still there forever. He's 36. He just won't go away. He's going to be a key starter again. Jefferson Diaz, I like him as well. Minnesota is a good shout for a dark horse as well. That's who I gave on the Sorare Data Show. They have a lot of intriguing pieces. They have Yeboah, who could be a dark horse. I don't know how dark horse it would be, but he could be a golden boot guy, just based on what he brought the tail end of the year. If Minnesota does really well, he's going to be a key part of that. They have Bongi, who's playing like a right wing back in the preseason, kind of similar to what he did last year, but having that speed, him playing as a right wing back, though, I don't love him as much as a Sorare card. But as far as a team, he helps out for sure. Rosales is a stud. I wish he had defender cards. He would be one of the top options on defense, but he has a midfield card. If Rosales had a defensive card, I know it's kind of a cop out, but like he's my favorite defender because they play 5 in the back. Gun to my head, Romera's gonna take a little bit of time to adjust. Harvey played really well at the end of last season. So like out of the gate, I think it's Boxall, Diaz, and Harvey. But I think Romero takes Harvey's spot unless they move on from Boxall. But yeah, tough. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, this is not financial advice. This is just what I think. It's not financial advice, but I literally just MLS is everything I look at. So the great thing about the pundits and things like that, we're wrong a lot. So yeah. Also, just kind of, I didn't have a chance to look at all of them, but we got predictions, and I'm lagging real hard to open up this page, so we might not be. This might not be working because it's making my computer work overtime for some reason. But yeah, as It's Hershey says, these are absolutely laughable. I saw a couple and I was just like, what is going on here? The ones that I saw, let's look at Minnesota because I'm curious to see. Again, look at these on your own time because apparently every time I open up a page, I'm freezing like crazy. I made a Minnesota stack here for it said. I think I saw you in some of the auctions. I was trying to get some guys. But yeah, I really like that. I really like that for sure. Okay. Yeah. So we have starting projected. Yeah. Let's see. Do I agree? I just said about Harvey. Yeah. That's literally what I had. So, yeah, projected starting 11s here. That one's great. Whoever made that, I agree. But just kind of to take you back and just thinking of the past ones, whenever Montreal was great with Nancy, just kind of comes to my head. Everyone had them like last, pretty much. I was one of them as well. So like, you don't really know a lot going into the season. I've been right a couple times, but as far as Minnesota, I projected them, I think 5th in my kind of just like, I'm doing this by myself thing. But you can kind of see a lot of people are high on them, but then you'll have like the 13th here. So this isn't a laughable one. This is MLSsoccer.com. Yeah. Oh yeah. So someone did say about the golden boot. Right. Yeah. Go back 2 pages. Go back 2 pages. It's not even letting me go back. Go back 2 pages. It's like the start. Just go here. I'm assuming. Let's see what they say for here. Gald, Ahmed pushing up. Okay, that'd be interesting. I have him or Nelson as a toss-up this week. 4 in the back instead of 5. Berhalter in there. Yeah, I struggled with what to do with Berhalter, so that's interesting. Vancouver this low. I mean, I think they'll be fine. I know that's just crazy. No one has them above 8th. I don't know. Yeah, Ozzy has no love for his former club. Look at Sporting Kansas City. I mean, not to dog anybody. Sorry, Alex, but can we even go back? Come on, guys. Sporting Kansas City was the one I was just like, Ozzy, what are you doing here? Yeah, I'm sorry this is taking so long. I don't know. This doesn't like the site for some reason. There we go. I saw these and third. I'm sorry. I can't do that. I don't know, but I could be wrong. If you look at this lineup, there's good pieces, right? There's good pieces. It's just, full transparency. I bought Pulskamp as a goalie because I thought the price was low and I needed a goalie to play. And, I'm just kind of planning my goalie buys as I want to have one home keeper to put in my top lineup. Yeah. No Sartini, no party. Yeah. I like Vanny a lot, just like the type of things he did. So, it's just, Schulte signed a new deal. That was, he could still move, but that was nice because he was in his last year of his contract. I don't know. More this area than this area, that's for sure. Here's Alex back in. Shall we? Seems to be moving to the right wing. Yeah, so it's good in the preview as well. Yeah, these are good. These are good projected starting 11s for sure. Something like a free starting point to look at. The two that I've seen just right now looks good. So that's another free resource that you guys can use as server managers to kind of see a starting point for this and just kind of see the key signings, just like the Aris, however you say it. So some pretty big pickups there. But yeah, I think that's something to look at and something that's very interesting to say the least. Let's see. Let's jump right into Server Data's pick scores. I'm going to refresh it just in case. They have the MLS tab. These are not MLS matches, so you don't have to worry about that. But MLS tab, to separate this is beautiful, not having to go through like Challenger on these. So I am pumped to be able to talk about this and look at this. Goalkeeper wise, unless we have some rotation based on it's a cup and there's travel. Yeah, I agree with all these. These guys all should start. Who's not listed here? Ustari for Miami should start based on the preseason calendar. He was supposed to be able to be fit enough to play in the last friendly. He did not. So I just don't think that he has a chance to start. And the job's up in the air. Mascherano said about it. So yeah, calendar. I have a calendar. You don't love to see that. I don't think it was all calendar, though, in my opinion. I know he gets a really bad rap for conceding, things like that. I think the defense hung him out to dry. I'm not saying he was phenomenal by any means, but Calendar is not a horrendous goalkeeper, in my opinion, for an MLS level. I'm not saying he's a good keeper outside of MLS, but yeah. Yeah, Peter, I don't know how he didn't get sacked last year just because he's been at the team forever. He has the longest leash I've ever seen in my life, but yeah. That's for sure. As far as scoring wise, we don't have a lot of data as far as you can't compare the same team last year to this year, just because there's so many different things. So it's impossible from a data standpoint to kind of do these projections, how they'll do at the beginning of the year, just because there's players in different roles. It's just such a tough thing to tackle. So we're kind of going just by the seat of our pants and just trying to do the best that we can. But from these goalies, it's hard to go down to Central America and do well. So that's like Takioka against Saprissa. Saprissa is going to score a goal or two. In my opinion, it's going to be tough. It might be like a 2-2 draw. I think in the Philly matches, I mean, it was like a 4-3 game, 3-2 game. It was high scoring. But with that being said, I just don't know anything about these teams other than the brief what I've looked at. If Stephen Fry starts, he could definitely get a clean sheet, but he has a very, very low floor as far as I don't think he's going to see a lot of shots. And if he concedes one, he's probably scoring 35 to 40 or worse. That it's not what you're looking at. The other one, Montague, since he should be able to hold them, but the same kind of deal. All these keepers, you have to deal with all the other, because you're playing these guys in All-Star. So you have to deal with the actual good players. I'm a MLS sicko, but let's be real with ourselves. A lot of these players are not good for, scoring wise. Talking goalkeepers, we're talking isolated. With the MLS competition, it's going to be an absolute crapshoot whenever, we might have one clean sheet for the entire slate. So it's going to be guys, and my strategy, and this could be completely wrong, I'm getting guys with high floors when they don't concede 3. Like I bought a Polskamp, he's going to concede 3 a lot. You're just hoping that at home he can concede 2, and you're happy with a 50, because I think you're going to be battling, and goalkeepers, there's going to be 1 that scores well, 2 that scores well maybe, and you're going to have guys that put clean sheets up and they only get 60. That's why I didn't buy Stephen Fry. I don't think he'll be as busy as some of the other guys, and I don't think he warrants that price. But if you buy a Stephen Fry and he's on one of the best teams in the league, I'm not going to fault you, because he's not going to concede 3 very often. I'm trying to go after the guys that have floors that if they concede less than 3, they're going to hit those floors. So, Polskamp, I think he has a chance. Against Kansas City, I don't think they're going to be very good. But, if he can concede 2 and make 6 saves, I'll take that out of him. But, yeah, you don't feel great about it. The other one I have is Ivic, however you say it. I might have a little soft spot. He was my goalkeeper whenever he was with Portland. He had that great season. He was my just farmer for thresholds. I have a soft spot for him. He's the other goalie that I bought. Again, I'm high on New England. I like what they've done with their back line. 2 different center backs. A lot of things to like with them. Look at all the green. They've added so many players. And then you also are getting Shankalai back. So you have him as well. It's just, he's returning in April. He's not back yet, but that's just another option. Ignatius Ganago looks like he's going to play on the left to start the year. Campana in a starting role is going to be interesting. Vrioni was just bad. He just was not good at all. So any production is going to be better. Langoni, I really like. I don't know how I got his auction. It was really early in the morning. Maybe it was that, but that was probably my favorite buy out of any of them. I don't know how it happened, because usually when I bid, someone outbids me every time. But I got him. I think $50 is a great price based on the current prices on him. And yeah, it's crazy. Like the one-ofs, are good prices for a lot of them, and, going for 82. So there's not a lot of difference there. I think he can score well. Just looking back, it was his first time in. He did have some nice scores. And you think about it, he was doing some of this without Carlos Hill. And I am going to be going after Carlos Hill eventually. Somebody please let me win the auction at a reasonable price. It's not going to happen, but I will be probably buying him. But my thinking is, again, this is just my strategy. Could be wrong. Maybe I don't get Carlos Hill in this early section. To be honest, I'm going after this Philly matchup for New England. I think there's some payback there with, Philly and New England before. And then they have to go on the road. I don't think New York's very good. But I'm looking to buy my Hill here, worst case scenario. That's just kind of, my thinking. But again, could be wrong. Atuesta should be a set starter in the midfield. They just don't have much going on. No in-season cards yet. I do own an old season card there. Araujo and him will be the starting pair in the midfield. Cartagena is out, ruptured Achilles. That's brutal. Yeah, they did sign Joran Gerbert today. I just put him in there. I didn't get his contract info in there, but I need to do that. Colin Gusk. He's a homegrown guy as well. He was signed, but these guys aren't guys that are going to start. So I think this pairing is going to be huge. So, yeah. Can we start praising New York City? Please help me. I just, but okay. So he has a freeze he's trying to sell. Freeze would fit that mold of terrible team, going to concede. But if he concedes 2, he should be busy enough. And as far as him being a keeper, I really highly rate him. I wish Philly would have kept him around. But with Andre Blake, what can you do? He wanted to start. He should start. I like him. He did have some rumors, to leave. He's still here. But yeah, there's a guy with, he should make some saves, but you're just going to get the axe whenever he concedes 3. Yeah. But I could be wrong. A lot of these like surprise teams that come out of nowhere, it's just everyone's saying, yeah, they stink. And yeah, Freeze was on my short list on keepers. But yeah, Blake is made of glass. If you own a Blake, you have to get an Andrew Rick. I haven't bought an Andrew Rick yet, but I need an Andrew Rick. My 2 classic Blakes just scares you. It's a shame because last season I barely got any utility out of him. It's just you don't want to see guys get hurt, especially starting goalies. Like Kerpo getting hurt already, breaking a finger maybe, or spraining a finger, best case scenario. You're going to have Pantemis starting first weekend, in my opinion, unless we hear. And a lot of the stuff, the talk for the weekend is mainly based on what I've seen so far. But we're going to get information, hopefully, Tuesday, Wednesday, and hopefully Thursday. Haven't heard anything on the deadline being pushed back. I was hoping we'd get injury reports on Friday before the deadline would lock. Doesn't seem to be the case, so it's going to be some guessing games. Andrew Rick was the starter last year. They felt with him. Semla got pushed down to the 3rd goalkeeper. Yes, we have a new coach with Carnell. But based on preseason, I guess, Semla didn't start at all. So that's just kind of my thinking that Rick is going to be the backup. Young kid, 19. So Semla was signed last year. He started 15. He just wasn't great. But yeah, Andrew Rick, full-time deal. He'll be with the club. He won't be with the second team at all. But yeah, Philadelphia is going to need some homegrown guys to step up, just based on what I've seen. But the more that I'm looking at it, they've been playing like a 4-2-2-2. And I like that. I like that they're getting guys in the roles they should be in. Danley and that Jovan Lukic. I kind of like what I've seen so far. These stupid closed door matches. And like here, I'm an idiot and put the same. I put they're playing Philly. I believe that was the Montreal one, right? Yeah. So yeah, I make mistakes. Yeah. Neil, gut on McCarthy. I talked about McCarthy a little bit earlier. Start till he makes an error. It's tough. I thought that they were going to trade him, to be honest, and they haven't. So right now I have McCarthy starting, but there's a lot of Mikovic rumors, a lot of Mikovic hype. I like Mikovic. I talked about him before. So is Raquinho homegrown? Yeah, got to get him out on the field again. It might be this year. He needs to get out on the field just to like make them abandon the match with some of these. I don't know. But Quinn Sullivan playing in like an attacking mid, right attacking mid with Gazdag as a left attacking mid is interesting. I love Curtin. I'm not going to speak badly about Curtin, but just some of the guys. He had McGlynn on the left and he had Quinn Sullivan on the right, just both out of position, but they were playing, his system. So I'm interested to see what they do with maybe a little bit more, but not a huge Cardinal fan, but Bruno Damiani. I know I have him listed as third, but yeah, he's going to be a starter. He's a DP. Mikel Ura being in the last year of his contract, I like Baribo better. We'll see what they do. Baribo and Damiani would be the two starters in my opinion. We'll see how the season shakes out, but that's just kind of my tidbits on Philly as a fan. But yeah, Frankie Westfield started all matches. My preliminary lineup, I have him starting at right back, even though Biza is coming back. They just haven't had minutes in preseason. Harriel's had a thigh strain. He's still behind. Should be good by the opener though. So I don't know if they'll start. I hope we get a little bit. I have notifications on for like 5 different Philly outfits or outlets. So yeah, Neil, I do. I did hear that. If you saw my phone, it just buzzes like nonstop just because I have tweet notifications on so many different things. And then I have my my list that I go through from all like the beat writers that I have on there. So yeah, some things I do miss, but like I usually see most of the information. It is kind of like my job to do it. But yeah. Yeah, shout out to everybody in here. We got a lot of let's see, an anonymous Dolphins in here. So yeah, I do kind of enjoy that whenever I'm updating things and like I just see like, hey, there's 10 people using this. That is tremendous. Yeah. And shout out to 30 people watching based on Streamlabs. So could be more, could be less. But yeah, if you're new here, I appreciate it. Give me a sub on YouTube, or if you're watching on Twitch. I just multi-stream, so it's basically, you know, it just kind of goes to all, but I use the Streamlabs where all the comments come in. So yeah, I appreciate it. If you haven't liked the stream, yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know what it does, but maybe it gives me more exposure, which isn't the worst thing in the world. So I appreciate everyone watching. Time-wise, I know this works better for some people than others. It just kind of works, you know, it's tough for me. So like I work till 3 p.m. my time, which is different to others. I get home about 3:30. So like the Sorare data stream that I was on, they obviously waited for me, which is great. I appreciate that more than anything. That's like the earliest that I could do it. But whenever I get home, I want to see my kid and, you know, help my wife because, you know, I got to be a dad. So that's why that time frame doesn't really work usually. But I'm going to try and do a few streams, maybe like one or two a month at a different time just to do it a little bit better. But these are all recorded, like it just posts on. So if you're watching after, you can just kind of in the morning before lock, you can look at these. But yeah. Hereford, what's happening? Thanks for this little tidbit. He's a good player. He had a good season. Yeah, I watched highlights. He came from Boston River. I think he was on loan at Boston River, but I was like, Boston River, I don't know anything about the team. I'm just gonna be completely honest. And I was talking to Gator about it. I'm like, I don't know anything. He's like, oh, know him through Sorare. You know, the teams that you realize you're like, oh, so and so went to Boston River, and it's like pretty hilarious. Post kid bedtime stream is clutch. I'll go on Sorare in the States more if their streams are later on. Yeah. Shout out to Sorare in the States. I definitely need to get on there at some point. They're doing an MLS preview for every single team. They're having people that, you know everything about the club. There's nothing better than people that know the club inside and out. They're fans like me for Philly. Like, I'd like to think I know a decent amount about Philly. You need guys like that. So that's big there. 4 a.m. Belgium. You guys are crazy. Like, I appreciate you being here, but you can watch it on repeat or on replay, which is great. Oops. Neil, if you're in here, man, I'm saying all these things. I just talked about Crepeau. Yeah, in the last friendly. Yeah. He was on loan from National. That's what it was. He came back, then we sold him to Philly. Yeah, wasn't there a big a derby that he moved like 2 days before? I'm pretty sure I saw that. So he came back, then he was sold. Interesting, very interesting. I'm excited to see him. You know, that's our biggest signing in club history. That's absolutely insane. We don't spend money. So I'm happy we're spending a little bit of money after some of the outgoings. Yeah, I think the shell of the team's solid, but yeah. Again, if you're new to the stream, I go off on huge tangents. We were talking about goalies. How did I get on Philly? But that's what you're here for, right? Oh, he played in the match. Yeah, that's the national division. Okay. Interesting. Like Uruguay, I don't know. I know next to nothing. I know who was it? Matias Orezo, or however you say it, was a Football Manager wonder kid that was from down there, and you'd always buy him the first you could raise the save star. Maybe that was 2 or 3 years ago, but that's my basic knowledge here. Orjano, what's his situation? He's training, played. He played in the last friendly, right? No, he did not. Played in the friendly before that, and then he was out due to an illness. Seems like he could be fit. I have him starting midweek, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Daniel, I appreciate that. Yeah. Catch you Thursday for the real slate. Always appreciate you coming in. Manuel, I appreciate that more than anything. Thank you. Yeah, so we're talking about goalies. And then we got there. So, yeah, Sorare data, if you're not on here, huge for the pick scores. And, this is going off a lot of last year's, I would think. But just having the win percentages help for sure. Let's put an eye on Gonzalo Petit and Bruno Arati. They are 2 Wonderkins here in Nacional. All right, appreciate that. Yeah, usually like South American Wonder Kids do well. Gabriel Peck would be the one that definitely thinking about. Let's see about some of these defenders, just to see if anyone pops up as being a guy that are interesting. Detroit Bad Boy, what's happening? Good to have you in here as well. Hollingshead. If we go to LAFC, they had a signing, Artem Smolyakov from Policia, Ukraine. He took a while getting over here. He got his visa. Get rid of that visa. He's here. It'll be interesting to see what he does. Hollingshead's been a mainstay in this team for a long time. On the other side, Palencia is pretty safe. Smolyankov, 21, gave him a contract through 2028. They have really high hopes for him. We'll see how quickly he digs in and maybe gets a starting role. But yeah, I have Hollingshead starting. Again, cold matchup on the road at elevation. That's going to be interesting. Cold elevation, going to be hard to breathe. It's going to be cold. Again, it's going to be cold. Third time. Yeah, interesting there. Miles Robinson, Cincinnati's having center back problems. Everybody's injured. They had 2 trialists play pretty much every match in the preseason. Hadebe has a knock. He's coming back. He's questionable. So there's a lot of things going on. Yedlin, he's another guy that he's kind of locked in just because they need him to. I'm looking for my other guy that I think is going to start, Powell, down here. He's not going to score well, most likely, but if you're in a pinch, he's probably going to start out of necessity. But that's my back starting line. You know what? We'll bring up Cincinnati. I'll do a freebie on Cincy. On server inside, use promo code DEEK10 for 10% off. Yeah, let's jump into these. Let's do Cincy as I talk about them. Danya, what's happening? I shouted you out earlier, being the DC guy and the San Diego for me. Huge help. Appreciate it. I appreciate all my experts here. How long ago? Yeah, but we're back. So here's my take on Cincinnati as of now. In the morning, maybe we get something as well. But we'll see. Injuries, recoveries, we might see a rotated squad. Evander is the big question mark. I don't think he's going to start. But, could be wrong there. Just based on this, Miles Robinson's pretty locked in just because they don't have other options. Flores is a new signing. He trained a little bit. Let's get back to what did I say on him? He arrived and was training the day of. That was yesterday. Yeah, that's for sure. So I don't think he's going to be ready, but 40%. It's kind of like if he has to play. Miazga reportedly was supposed to start training this week, but I can't imagine him being ready coming off that major injury. But whenever he gets back. And then Hagelin was said to be a couple weeks back. Shout out to Laurel Failer. She's great as far as beat writers. Carter Chapley's another one. Great. That Brennan was the other guy's name. Sorry if I messed up. Miles Road. Yeah, San Diego has been. They haven't really released a lot. There's a good Twitter page. It's like SD 2025 or something. Again, this is just off the top of my head. Messed up. Miazga training photos. Yeah. When did I post that he was reportedly? Yeah, he should be. I just don't think they're going to roll him out right away. Should be back to training. Might be a tough. Again, it's tough. The two trialists, they kept saying trialist 1 and trialist 2. I haven't seen that they signed them. I was really waiting for them to be signed. Halsey could be forced to start just because Engel's joining. Engel should be fit just from, obviously coming in. He has visa, but he's just joining. He just hasn't been in the team sessions. Yeah. Let's see what else. Anunga played. They liked what they saw in the preseason. He's not going to be a starter during the year, but he's interesting as well. But again, there's just so much uncertainty. Denke, he's fine. It seems like he's starting out of the gate. Baird could be a guy that, like, if Orjano doesn't play, like I said, Kubo. What am I? 70% on Kubo. It's just tough. It's just tough with Concacaf Champions Cup. But the initial notes as well. I try to do as much as I can as far as what I've seen, what I've heard. And then we have these comments feature as well. So what? This is crazy. Britt Halsey's mom is my dad's coworker. That's crazy. Small world. Yeah. Anyone that has his jersey on has to be related. That's really cool though. But yeah, so that's the FC Cincy update a day ago. Like I said, I've been running around all weekend. I just got home like 3 hours ago, maybe 4 hours ago. Yeah. So I might have missed information. I'm going to go back through, but nothing should change by tomorrow morning unless we get some information from training quick. But, these teams are already on the move. Like, I forget what team posted, like boarding the flight, that they were already on the move. Was it RSL? I can't remember. But yeah. So again, back to defenders. So with Cincy. Rosenberry's one with Colorado that was kind of surprising. In the preseason, he was a sub for all 5, but he's a key veteran. It'll be interesting to see what they do as far as, Vines, soft tissue issue. He wasn't involved. We should see Reggie Cannon on the left, him on the right would make sense, or flip-flop. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. He should start. But again, LAFC is not an easy matchup, even at home. But you have to give, guys like Mihalovic, he should score well. Again, another guy that I tried to buy. Man, he's expensive. But a lot of pundits are not high on Colorado. I'm a little bit higher on Colorado than some, but yeah, that's just me. Yamar, as long as he starts, should be a great option. Him and Jackson Reagan are 2 great defenders. We talked about defenders earlier. They're just so freaking expensive. Crazy. Ivalis was away from the team, getting his visa. He should be back, should be ready. They've had some issues with other guys being injured. That back line, Gonzalo Lujan or Lujan, however you say it. I always think Lujan, but he was injured. It looked like his hamstring in the last friendly. That's a shame because it looked like he was going to be a guy that can play right back, can play right center back. Falcone doesn't seem to be training with the team yet. He had the visa issue. Tracking these visa issues is such a pain. Yeah, that's legit. Look at them. I agree. Alex Roldan, same deal. These teams going on the road to Central America, some of the pitches stink. So it could be tricky games for sure. Yeah, it's just hard to play like I'm going to probably, just based on the options I have, I'm going to play like Pulse Camp, and I just don't expect anything from the midweek. Ahmed's interesting. If he's playing in that more attacking role and like an attacking midfield, like it just kind of depends. Does he or Nelson start? If he's, let me backtrack. Ahmed will start, in my opinion. I think I'm 80% on him. But if he starts in an attacking mid role, like Gald plays on one side, one wing, one attacking mid role, and he's on the other, he could be really interesting this game week. But it kind of just depends where he plays. If he plays at that wing back position, not as interesting for me. We got 67% here on him. I haven't seen the injury report on how the hamstring is. Jarm 21, Jarm 21, I believe, is kind of the guy that I follow. He usually has nice early morning pressers and usually gets some information like 20 minutes before deadline. At least that's what happened last season on Messi and things like that. So that's going to be the guy that I follow, and I have tweet notifications on for him. It's just as a, who do I follow kind of thing. We looked at everyone else. Let's look at fun positions that aren't goalie and defense in MLS. Busquets, is he going to play? These Miami guys have good matchups. Like, I just bought a Messi. He doesn't want to play. Then there's conflicting reports. But if you have a Messi, you're probably going to play him. With the All-Star competition, I'm just not expecting anything. And I don't really care if there's DNPs, just because I don't have good lineups really to put together. As far as I have holes, and I'm not going to buy anybody at crazy prices or buy their classic card right now just to fill the lineup. Even though I have Orjano, I have Denki, I have Messi. Like, I guess it makes sense to buy a spot, but at the prices, I'm just not going to FOMO in right now. Let's talk about the auctions tomorrow, and then whenever you guys see me buy like Mihalovic or something stupid, or then we'll talk again. But as of now, I'm trying not to FOMO in. But again, I don't want to give away everybody I'm targeting. I don't, but I can't help talking about it. That's what the stream's for. So if you watch the stream, you get tidbits. No one is not, if you've watched MLS, no one's going to be like, oh, Ryan Gauld is an under the radar guy. No, he's not. Okay. But I was watching the auction earlier. I saw the instant buy go. It's just like, yeah, he's going to score well this year, especially at home. Look at the graph. It's just, he's a guy that is a great midfield, one of the great midfield options. Going into the auctions, I'm like, okay, he's one of the top guys on my list, just based on, I think he's going to have a great year. He's such a key part of this team. And then I saw the prices, and then it's just, I want his in season because I'm really focusing on in season. But yeah. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. This is legit. Yep. That's what I'm doing. I have some Vancouver pieces. I mean, I've gotten several collections to like 2 and 3%, just as like, I'm going to buy the star, but I'm not ready. ATX, shout out for having the floor price here. I don't know. I don't want to spend some of my budget on a classic whenever I plan on buying the in season. But we'll see what the auction does tomorrow. Maybe you guys let me have them. No, but like 518 for an insta buy, it's high. The prices are high. Again, server data. I don't get paid for any advertising or anything like that, but this toll is just huge, just to track the price, everything like that. You guys know that. Shout out to Alistair with the 359. That was a good one. I saw 359. I was watching, like the sad thing is I was watching all these and I'm like, man, that's a high price. That's a high price. That's a high price. Didn't pull the trigger. Good job getting those guys. But again, these are depreciating assets because, as the season goes, you see the prices go down. We'll see how that goes this year. But if you told me right now I could buy one for 359, I would, just because I'm high on them. But again, I'm going to be watching auctions like a hawk, trying to get these guys. But yeah, shout out to guys who bought the one-ofs that are going for, the cards are going for way more now. It's just, a lot of people are sucker for promos, but I don't think that's the only thing driving these. I think there's a lot of hype behind it. Them putting 20 essence in there. Some people are going to go for 3. I would like to be a guy that goes for 3 chances. You get 60 essence. I'm a sucker for these types of things. But yeah, I want to buy more San Diego, but they minted them way less than the rest. Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah. Mohammed, what's happening? Do you think Lucho will be as good at Dallas as he was in Cincy? I'm going to say not quite as good. I think he's going to be good. I'm just going to, as far as the midfield options, he's going to be a good option, but I'm just not sure. It's kind of whenever these guys move to a different team, you want to wait and see, but like in a vacuum, Evander going from Portland to that attack in Cincy screams crazy decisives. But will he have the monopoly that he had on sets in Portland? I think Orjano has enough quality to take some of them. Will he let him? We'll see. But I'm going to say not as good, but he's going to score well. Lucho kind of threw a ball baby fit this offseason and kind of, I don't know, he's got those little legs, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. Mihalovic, again, talked about him. Nwobodo, they were able to get him off a DP contract, I believe, and he's a TAM signing now, right? Yes, that's pretty big for the roster construction. Yeah. Detroit bet, but yeah, still top 5 mid. Yeah, it's not like he's going to be bad. It's just, I think there's a couple other options, and I guess, yeah. The Peter Musa combo is going to be great between the two. Yeah, attitude. Yeah. Yep. Again, from the DC. Yeah. If he's feeling good. Yeah. See if he likes Dallas. Better weather than Cincy, that's for sure. So if you look at this, Anelli, I like a lot with his game. Just curious how his price is looking. Oops, not going. He's about the 68 range. It's just, price-wise, it's tough. It's tough to really gauge what we have here. But if you look at him, he is like your threshold guy from before. But again, if you look at his age, he's 25. He's getting into his prime. He's a guy that did have a couple peaks, but they were just rare. He's a better in-person player than a server player, in my opinion. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, still Lucho. Yeah. Yeah. You met him? Yeah, that's awesome. Andrew, what's up? Thanks for coming in here. I was going to say, I could have sworn that name sounded familiar whenever I first looked at it, but yeah, you were the guy that won and got to meet him. That's awesome. That's sweet. Pablo Ruiz, yeah, he's back. Maybe off the bench, but yeah, he's back. Kubo, yeah, he should start. He's up there. Denny, yeah, I guess he has mids as well as forwards. Tillman should start. I know in like the original, I had him just a little bit less, but they're not playing 3 in the back. They played 4 in the back the entire preseason, so don't see anything there. Memo is interesting. Like if he starts the entire year, he's interesting. Just Sporting Kansas City against Miami. I just don't see Miami keeping a clean sheet though. So that's something to watch. The Seattle guys, Roldan's interesting, both of them. Areola should start. Just based on Rusnak. Rusnak shouldn't start. So I see De La Vega maybe moving to the 10. Areola on the right side. So he's interesting as a little one-off. Kubas, interesting again. He's more of a defensive mid, but yeah, he can score well. Marquis Delgado, his prices are a little higher than my liking as far as what I've seen. Jake Davis, Ronan, I wouldn't get into a Ronan just based on what we talked about earlier. Just with them spending so much on Atencio, it just seems like he could cut into Ronan's role. Abed Vargas, we talked about him. Redondo, he was away from the team, came off the bench last friendly just because he was getting his visa sorted out. But they started Bright instead of him. That's just something to watch. Again, prices. Prices have a lot of kind of, okay, do I feel comfortable about a guy who I don't know if he's going to start every match? Yeah. Redondo long-term is in a great spot, though. I just don't know how long he's going to be at Inter Miami. He will likely make the next step sooner than later. Mark Zook had a great preseason for RSL. He's interesting. Orjano, I prefer his forward card. Yeah. Get down to some of these guys. Diego Gonzalez, is he going to have a bump in year 2? That's kind of, he came away second half of the year last season. Is he going to kind of live up to, I don't know if he had a ton of hype, but at least be a little bit better than he was last year. Manu Garcia, I'm not sure if he's going to start out of the gate. He might, but I think that's just too risky to play, in my opinion. Yeah, not that hot on RSL. Yeah, I would agree. They roster-wise, they're just not great. But who are they playing? Herediano. I just think in this game week they have a decent matchup. Mikael replacement in Houston. Let's go over to Houston. So Sviatchenko is going to be a starter, and beside him they have Felipe Andrade, who just got in on a loan to buy. They finalized that signing recently, so maybe in the first match we might see something differently. Maybe Barlow gets to start. He started 11 matches last year. A lot of those were just rotation kind of things. Obafemi Owadesu came from Houston too. He signed to a deal. So right now, those are the options. So as far as Houston's back line, I don't love really what I'm seeing as far as, Miguel was a good scorer. So he was a guy that, you love. Franco Escobar is dealing with an injury. There's issues with him. So you don't feel great about him. Dorsey at right back. And then you have the Orlando deal with Ladero and Halliday coming over. Halliday's a right back. So Halliday played in the USA youth squad. He's had this. And then he played some first team appearances for Orlando. And then Dagerdan, who still has midfield cards for some reason, has just taken over the right back spot and not given it up. So yeah, you got him, and then Nico Ladero coming in. It'll be interesting to see. Kowalczyk is probably the guy that makes way if Ladero becomes a starter. But they said they wanted a DP10. The idea that Ladero is the guy that they're getting makes me think that Houston's still in the market. So they just haven't brought someone in, but that's a guy that is interesting. Thoughts on Vancouver defenders to stack with Takioka? Otherwise, I'm looking at Aaron Herrera. Aaron Herrera is a good shout for DC. And Claudio Bravo. Bravo is interesting just because they brought in Jimmer Forey. Jimmer, shout out Jimmer, who they like. And it just kind of, is he going to cut into Claudio Bravo? Is he going to start over Claudio Bravo? That's kind of a question mark there. But as far as the defender for Vancouver, I'm a sucker. Again, I talked about my goalkeeper before. I'm a sucker for Ranko Veselinovic. He's a solid scorer. He does have upsides on corners to score goals. And he is the safest starter in that back line. He's an Iron Man. He started 40 matches last year. If you're going to stack anybody, either him or Adekugbe could have more of your upside if you're looking for that. Playing left back, it just depends if they're playing 4 in the back or 3 in the back. But yeah, that's kind of based on position eligibility, I believe. And if it's Hershey agrees, he's my Vancouver guy. So yeah, Bobby, no problem. Andrew, taking Awazium and Murphy starting. Yeah, so Murphy started at left back the last friendly, which was interesting. Awazium, yes, he's kind of the most locked guy with Maxo. I think those two guys are locked. Are they going to play 5 in the back? It doesn't seem like it, but yeah, some interesting things there. Rosenberry's the guy. He didn't start in the preseason. That's just kind of crazy. You know, he's a captain. Like, I just don't see him not starting. But again, Reggie Cannon's the other guy that has started every single preseason match. So he seems to be pretty nailed just based on, you know, you can't put complete stock into everything as far as what happens in preseason just because they're trying out people. But that just seems to be pretty telling if you're starting everyone. And yeah, 4 in the back, Laborda at right back seems to be what they're doing. On my prediction, I have 3 in the back, but I just kind of kicked. It's going to be kind of like the same type of thing. It's just like I have Berhalter at like, I'm not sure, for 50 to 60%. I can't remember, but it's just like Berhalter being in makes a lot of sense. Where Ahmed plays, is Nelson going to start? There's just a lot of intricacies that you just don't know. Danya, it's in my pinned tweet. You need to do absolutely nothing. You just click on my pinned tweet, Sorare on Twitter. Yeah, this is available to anybody. And I update this throughout the season. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Wazium. Yeah. I was kind of surprised they did the old twofer, and then now Cincy needs center backs, which is kind of, you know, that's always what happens. It seems to be. Yeah, we had this brought up earlier. I don't believe anything Neville says, to be honest, just from last year. So I have a tough time really buying into what he says. But he said that it's out of necessity that they're playing 3 in the back. He doesn't want to play 3 in the back. But he said out of necessity with the injuries that they have, they likely will start the season at that. So, yeah, early in the season, based on matchup, that could be a good thing for Portland. But yeah, never trust him. Just like the comment, it just last year, he gave us a comment on Evander, and then it was just wrong. So now that you look at the Evander situation, maybe he just didn't know and he was just talking. But yeah, Portland, I take him and his pressers just with the smallest grain of salt that you can. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know it's Hershey from forever. Yeah. He's the Vancouver guy for sure. So if anyone didn't know, he is that guy. Oh boy. Man, first stream back. Tell you what, this has been great. I appreciate everyone coming in. Especially, you never know. Yeah, just with time frame and things like that. I know it's not ideal, but I can't believe so many guys are in here. I assume it's all guys because it's so rare. But yeah, we go back way back since 2023. Yeah, it's Hershey. He's been one of the mainstays in these streams. You know, back whenever I was streaming to like 5 guys, and now I'm, you know, streaming to 8. No, I appreciate every one of you. So many connections through Sorare. That's just phenomenal. And the MLS community, I'm just going to speak for everybody, but there's so many good connections in the MLS community. Just true sickos, like we talked about. Yeah, I would love. It's tough for people to meet up, but like I would love to get a nice meetup this year, whether it's like at the All-Star game or something. Sorare, if you're listening, give us all tickets, and I'll buy a flight. But we need to have a meetup of some sort with some of these guys. Some of the guys in the chat, some of the guys that I talk to like on a daily. Yeah. Who is the sickest sicko? I don't think I'm the sickest sicko. I think I'm a spreadsheet. Why am I doing like this much work with MLS sicko? But I don't know who the sickest sicko is. That is a really good question. Detroit City FC, let's go. And you have to be sick to even watch it. Yeah. Like I would say that the biggest sickos are Europeans that are watching it, are waking up early or setting an alarm to watch MLS in like the middle of the night. So like I would equate it to like an American watching J League. I think that's the sickest thing that you can do to yourself because the quality can be so laughably funny and that you're just waking up in the middle of the night to catch an MLS after dark, as Calvin says. Yeah, a little bit of MLS after dark. So Bobby, yeah, 5:30 a.m. your time. That's the kind of sicko I want to be around. Oh man. Segovia is another one, just go off on tangents and then just come right back. And Segovia is an interesting one. He started the last friendly with like the first teamers. So I do think he starts, in my opinion. Igor Jesus, I'm high on his profile. I like what he's done, but LAFC's brought in other people. But yeah, I don't think we want to go any lower on the midfield. Yeah, this is hilarious. Some dude from like Albania. Yeah, it's just like all parts of the world, just seeing people watch that. My favorite thing to do is look at the stream analytics. So like after the stream ends, you can see like, okay, here's your countries that watch you most. And it's like, it's never the United States the most. And it's just like, we got guys in here from Thailand, from, everywhere. Sarah Jonesy, what's up? Go Steelers. He is a legend. He was just in here. I don't know if he's still in here, but Bangkok, Thailand, tremendous. Let's see. But he's able to watch now. Yeah, that's cool that he can actually watch. Yeah. Check out the forward. We'll check out the forward, and then I'll show you my options, then maybe build my lineups because it'll take a second, and then I'll probably call it quits. With like all this weather, like the coldness and stuff, like I already have a 2-hour delay for tomorrow just because like the kids walking to school, it's supposed to be so brutal out there. So I'm just a Union fan. To be honest, I don't like a certain team. I watch the Steelers game, so it's a really weird situation. I live in the center of the state. Pittsburgh's 2 hours away. Philly's like 3 hours away. So I live in central Pennsylvania, and I am not the biggest NFL fan. I watch the Steelers just because people around me are Steelers fans. But, I don't have a huge allegiance to anything NFL just because fantasy football, like NFL football, I root for the players, but I like college football more. But yeah. Oh, comeback player of the year. I honestly haven't even thought about that. I know a lot of people are giving like their calls out, and I don't have one yet. I got to keep thinking. I got to make a tweet before the season starts of like my predictions so that you guys can come back to it and see how terrible they are afterwards. But I don't have one yet. I haven't really thought about it too much. So cleaning the bathroom. What's better than a little bit of MLS After Dark and cleaning the bathroom? Hooday. Let's go. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Love it. Rough time for us Steelers fans. Yeah, I mean, it is a little rough. No snow. Yeah, I've been watching the report. So yeah, the DC area, you're right there. It's very interesting. You from State College? I'm actually pretty close to State College. I am about 20 minutes south of State College. It's like the hockey team that I coach, kids are from State College. Kids are from like Altoona. I grew up in Altoona. If you're familiar with that at all, you're probably not. And I currently live in Bellwood. So, yeah, Miazga is a good shout. He's going to be a mainstay. Pablo Ruiz come back. Yeah. Some of these guys that have been injured. Pablo Ruiz, if he like does anything, him being out back-to-back years, he'll probably just win it by default. Never been to it. That's hilarious. GV, what's happening? I just arrived. One of your opinion if Mikovic is that's a great question. I don't have the answer to that. I'm leaning McCarthy. I thought McCarthy was going to get traded, to be honest. But he hasn't. I think Mikovic is really talented. I think he should be a starting goalie. It's just the longer McCarthy's there, it's hard to really displace. They won MLS Cup. It's hard to displace that starting goalie from that. How'd the hockey team do? We actually won the tournament. It's weird. We played 5 games. We went 2-0-3. We had 2 wins, 3 draws, or 3 ties, as you would say in hockey. But it was weird. Like it was a really even tournament, and it's a grind, that's for sure. Four Nations hockey, man. The U.S. Canada matchup was phenomenal. We're gonna get it again. Being amazing is just so good as a Russian in DC. I didn't know you're Russian. That's awesome. Big Ovi fan. That's sweet. Beat report. I did see that. Said Mikovic is starting, so I bought him. It's hard for me to just be like, I don't know. Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. It was just like a regular tournament. It wasn't anything. We have states. So like Pennsylvania states. We have states in 3 weeks, maybe. So yeah, that'll be a big one. Like last year, we won states. We went to nationals, and we got 3rd in the nation, which is obviously a crazy run. And this year, we're playing up in age. So like I coach 15-year-olds, but we're playing 16U. So obviously, we've taken some lumps, but pretty much the same group. And yeah, a little bit of U.S. rivalry in the chat. Love it. So I actually coached AA, but like for like this tournament, we played AAA teams. Like we've actually beat all the AAA teams we've played. We played just high level AA. So like in your area, let's see, DC teams. So like there's only like Washington Little Caps in your area as far as AAA. But then some of the AA teams, Ashburn is in Virginia, but that's close. Ashburn, Extreme are always really good. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, Balot. Yeah, absolutely. I know we're talking about stuff that people are just like, yeah, we don't care whatsoever. Just shut up, talk about MLS, do what you're supposed to do. Messi, if he starts, yeah, you got to play him. Everyone's playing their Messi. It's cold, but if you have him, you're going to play him. But again, this cold, the old guys, Suarez, Messi, Busquets, yeah, it's tough. Luanga, you're going to play him, right? Jovic, I'm interested to see. You got to downgrade him in the Sporting Kansas City stack compared to LA. Kevin Cabral, interesting. Orjano, Ferreira, like all these guys are interesting. It's just I bought a Vite, not the forward card though. I have his mid because I needed a mid kind of thing. Denki, If he starts, he's probably going to score. But yeah. Jaden Nelson, if he starts. Again, Saprisa's not the easiest matchup in the world. But in case you don't know what my gallery looks like, I'll just show you what I got for this upcoming game week. Probably going to play. Am I going to play under 23? Probably. But not my D1. I definitely don't want to. I have D1 and D2, and I can't compete. So I'm probably just going to throw a D2. Andy Black in a house. Let's go. Sorare Hockey. Yeah, just international. Just give us international leagues. That'd be hysterical. Give me a little bit of Latvia. Give me a little bit of Estonia. Hysterical. But yeah, I have 2 Pulse camps, 1 in season, 1 out. Probably not great, but yeah. So like this under 23, it's going to get relegated. You know, I'm in D2. I probably shouldn't even play it there, but yeah. They made up the scoring and stuff. Yeah. I play DraftKings daily fantasy, a little bit of hockey. I dabble. I'm not by any means a good player. I just enjoy it. But yeah, I play the low stakes on there from time to time whenever I want to throw in a lineup. Let's look at All-Star though. I'll throw that. So like I said, I only have Pulse camps. So yeah. So if we play Pulse camp, then we would have to play Messi against Pulse camp. So like I said, I am not buying anybody for this week because then I would have to buy a keeper, and it just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to roll out 2 lineups that I know for a fact is not going to do anything, but I'm not going to let the boys sit. Hopefully get some XP or something on these cards. So if I'm playing an all-star, yeah, draft and forget. Yeah, best ball is fun in hockey for sure. The daily stuff, like I used to play fantasy baseball, and like the daily grind of just setting your lineups was just too much. And I just stopped doing it. So yeah, it's fine. As far as this, let's see, where's the percentages? 13%, 17%. So we'll throw the in season here. Like I have a Yamar. I'm worried about if Seattle just rotates everybody. That's like the only issue. But if you look at my other options, I don't have anything crazy. So I'll probably just play Yamar. And again, I'm not worried about being relegated. So I'm just going to put, if they start, they'll do great. If they don't start, so what? So yeah, I'd play Yamar. Old season there. As far as, yeah, I bought him. Daniel Castillo on the rumor. Just, I know Jonesy and Sorare Capital was in there. I was trying to click buy, and it just kept going away. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I saw they both got him as well. I think I paid like $12 maybe just to have him. That's Laird's team, so maybe he knows a little bit more than I do on that. But couldn't help myself from getting a Michelin card. With Brujo, he got a red card, and this is a different competition, so he should start. But again, I haven't looked at anything as far as like the other guys. Yeah, you just beat me. I was like clicking buy, and I'm like, okay, it's something's not happening, because the one that Cap was on, I was clicking that one, wasn't working. I'm like, okay, what is going on? Refresh page, it was gone. Started clicking on the next one. You got that one. I'm just like, all right, I'll just get the next one, whatever. But yeah, worth to have shot take on some of these. So midfield's obviously horrendous, but maybe I'll play Brujo. I got to see if he's going to start even. I sold up but these are collection Philly pieces, so I have a hard time letting go. Like my Carranza, like I haven't even played him, but like, you know, if he starts, it's just, I have a hard time letting go. You know, a lot of these guys will never see the light of day. And as you can see here, these are collection pieces. These are not guys that I think are going to start. I've been placing min bets for like the $5, whatever it is, for rares, and just getting as many as I can. And these are to boost gold that I don't have. So I don't have gold. But that's my thinking there. Is this Libertadores? I assume, right? So let's take a look at server inside on my other Lappy. Brujo 70%. I mean, that's good enough for me as far as this. So what do I got here? Like the 2024. Yeah, we'll throw him. Yep, I am right there with you. It's just like these cards are not usable. Well, some of them are, but like I have so many collection pieces, and it's just like I like the card. I'm keeping the card. So like I said, I'm going to play Messi against my goalie, which is horrendous, but you're not going to not play your Messi. Kevin Cabral against LAFC's a little bit interesting, but again, I'm going to go with the idea that if they start, probably a good option. So Orjano, especially with Evander, I don't think he's going to start, but in theory, both could not start. But if Orjano plays, he's going to take sets. So I also have a Denki who didn't show up in here. I'm going to play him in under 23, I guess. It's like, do I play Orjano or do I just play Denki? Where Denki, I think he's going to start. Like, I'm pretty confident that he's going to start. But he has that under 23 eligibility, so I guess I'll just. I don't know why I'm taking too much time with this, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Because these lineups have no chance. But I haven't played Sorare in probably a month because I was selling my gallery, and yeah. Yeah, Denki and Bamba. Yeah, that's like some of these guys, I mean, some of the guys in chat here absolutely smashed it getting these guys super cheap. I was in like the middle tier. I got some guys that still at good prices. Your Pasilix, your Bamba, your Denki. I got these cards for next to nothing, but like some of these guys got it half of what I got it at. So, they're in a really good spot. Yeah, we'll get relegated here for sure. MFL grind. Yeah, I was getting into that too. I had 3 teams. I had to cut it down to 1 just because, man, I was spending so much time. And not that I don't love the game. It's just I was spending so much time, and I made profit on like so many players, and I got my initial investment and some amount. So I was kind of over the moon to have I still have my 1 team and I'm on house money. So I was kind of, I'm pretty happy about that as far as that. Yeah, I'm gonna play Noah Allen. So he's gonna start at left back. He's not, it's a little bit different, but yeah. Probably Vite, I guess. Only option really. And then Jesus Ferreira. The only issue, Forster, I think is going to start up top for RSL, and if they score, he's probably going to have a hand in it. He had a great preseason. He's in great form. I kind of bought him just on the idea that his price was too cheap, and I think I can flip him down the line if he starts. So again, transparency. That's kind of why I bought him. But I think you could definitely play him this game week. But it just makes too much sense to have Jesus Ferreira and Denki in here. And who to captain? I might give Denki the look at the beginning here. So I'm going to go Denki. 53 here in D2. So we'll take the relegation. Or maybe we won't. But I guess some of this is this E rating here. Jordi Alba's out. So again, I would be kind of shocked if Noah Allen doesn't start, but maybe they do some weird 3 in the back formation. End of the day, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't think Seattle plays any big players ahead of the Charlotte side who looks strong outside the mid. Yeah, that's kind of like, is Ferreira going to play? He might not. But yeah, midweek rotations. I don't think Seattle's going to play that strong. That's why, like in the other lineup, Yamar, there's a good chance he doesn't play. He doesn't even make the trip. So hopefully we had some flight pictures or something like that beforehand, just to kind of narrow it down a little bit. But yeah, Jesus Ferreira, it's hard to leave him out just based on, I could play him, who I really personally think is going to start, where I think there's more risk in Ferreira. But if Jesus Ferreira plays, I think he'll outscore him. You know, that's just kind of the issue. Yeah, let's see. Last few midweeks, I've won boxes from 4-man lineups without goalkeeper and under 23. So you'll probably get a box. Okay. I have a D2 team, so it's probably going to get relegated to D3. Yeah, send them down. Yeah, they do everything backwards in Concacaf. This competition's kind of a joke sometimes. And yeah, we're not even week 1, and we're already doing this. And have I done a visa check? I've tried to follow up on visas, but here we go. It's going to be silly season where it's like, oh, he didn't make a trip because he's been in training camp. He has to fly to Argentina, and he posts a picture of a gun, and he's staying in Argentina. Thank God Renes is out of MLS, because it's tired of that. Yeah, it's Hershey. Send him down there. So yeah, I'd probably just go with this. I might tinker later and just throw, you know what, I'm going to tinker now. I'm going to throw him in there. It doesn't really matter, but if I can get to 35 points from him, sure. Ray no show. Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness we don't have that anymore. Now we'll just have other players do it. So, yeah, I'm just going to run out those 2 teams. That's fine for me. Not expecting anything. Yeah. And births. Yeah. Births is a big thing as well. You got to watch all the matches so that you can see the celebrations, see who does the baby celebration to make sure you catch those as well. It's just like, oh, it's like, I'm ready for MLS to be back, but I'm not ready for all the shenanigans that are pulled and the lack of information that we get and the just craziness. So yeah, man, we made it over 2 hours. It's crazy. If you haven't liked the stream before, on your way out, like it as well. You know, I don't know what it does for it, but other like streamers that are better than me tell you to like the stream. So if you could do that, I appreciate it. Ooh, Taxi Funtas. That's another one. It's 3 a.m. on the bus. That was mind blown. We got shipped to Turkey. Yeah, that was crazy. Taxi Funtas. I forgot about that name too. Yeah. He got into some trouble. That's for sure. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'll be completely honest. I get a lot of DMs and it's hard for me to respond like every single time. So if like I get your DM and I don't respond right away, or I don't respond, it's nothing against you. I try to respond to every single one. I do. But if it's like deadline and like, or if I'm at work, like if I'm at work and you DM me an hour before deadline, you're not going to get a response. I just can't be on my phone. I try to look beforehand. Like I have a 2-hour delay tomorrow, which is going to be clutch. So I'll be able to watch a little bit, see if we get any late news. But yeah, I do need an assistant. I need someone to be just like my Twitter guy, to just run my Twitter account. Hey, you have a 2:00 meeting with your DMs. But I appreciate everyone coming in, you know, off the break, you know, with me not streaming for a while and coming back. AI chatbot. Now we're talking. I didn't know how many we'd have in here. I know there's never been so much hype for MLS, and I'm thankful for that. Thankful for the platform that I have, that, you know, I can meet all these people, and yeah, I'm appreciative for everyone coming in here and, you know, spending sometimes 3 a.m. for some of you, and sometimes late at night for others, sometimes prime dinner time. I guess not dinner time anymore, but it's Hershey. You're probably Pacific time, right? Yeah. So I appreciate everyone coming in. I appreciate hanging out with me for the last 2 hours. And this is the most viewers I think I've ever had on a stream. So I appreciate that. I'm a small time streamer for sure. I'm not making any more YouTube videos just out of, I don't have time. But I'm going to be doing these streams every Monday and Thursday. So if you enjoy the Jack McGlynn out of the gate video, it's going to stay for a few more weeks at least. And yeah, I appreciate everybody. So shout out to the 4 a.m. folk. Shout out to the 8 p.m. folk. Shout out to everybody in chat. So I'm going to log off. My voice is getting out from screaming at referees. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe a little bit. But glad to have everybody back. MLS is back in the form of Champions Cup. Concacaf Champions Cup. We have the real match week 1 this weekend. So I'm here for the shenanigans. Everyone rest up. You're going to need it for what's in store for this weekend. So stay warm if you're in the States. Guys like Alex going to the match on Wednesday now. Stay warm somehow. Bundle up. And good night, everybody. And we'll see you next time.